In this video, we're going to learn how to simplify a rational expression by factoring out a -1. So it turns out in this guy here, we're going to do some of the stuff that we've done before. We're going to rewrite the thing as 6 minus z times, we'll factor this z squared minus 4. Hopefully you remember how to do that. It'll be z minus 2 times z plus 2. And we're going to divide all that by z plus 2. And then this guy will factor using x factor. And that's -54 and 3. And I'll let you do the rest for old time's sake. And then pause the video and go ahead and finish it off. And then I'll go ahead and write out what it should be here. Okay, I'm hopeful that you paused the video, and I hope that we agree that this will be z plus 9 and z minus 6. Okay, so if we agree, we're in good shape. Now, it turns out we can cancel some here. We can cancel this z plus 2. Oh, I'm bad at that canceling. There we go. And we'll cancel this z plus 2, and that gets us 1 here and 1 there. And let's see what else. We'd like to cancel this 6 minus z and this z minus 6, except we can't cancel them directly. See, 6 minus z is not the same as z minus 6. And I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about this. Make sure that you're on the same page as me. Take a look at this. What if we have something like 5 minus 3? Do we believe that that's exactly the same as 3 minus 5? Do the math. I think you get two different answers. Up here we get 2 and down here we get -2. So they're close. They're the opposite signs of one another, but they're not the same. So it turns out when we have something like z minus 6 and 6 minus z and z minus 6, what ends up happening is we can cancel, but the result we get is not 1. Or at least it's not 1 in both places. What ends up happening is we can either choose to have the, well, one of these guys will be 1. I'm going to make it this guy down here. And the other guy will be -1. And we can choose to have the -1 be up top or below in either place. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Just remember that you can move things around that you multiply together. So even if the -1 was here, we could move the -1 to here and to here, and quite frankly out in front of the fraction. And in fact, that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go ahead and move that -1 right out in front of the fraction, and then we're going to have z minus 2 on top. That's all that's left. And then that'll be over z plus 9. And you'll notice that when I only have that one binomial left, there's no reason to put the parentheses in any longer. But the parentheses are always there. They're always implied. If we had to multiply this times something, we'd put those implied parentheses back. And then that negative sign we just take out in front. Now, you don't have to take the negative sign out in front. We could have made it so that it's, there's a few other things we could have done. We could have changed this from z minus 2 to 2 minus z, and then that negative sign goes away. And I'll leave it at that for now. This, to me, is a good way to finish off and write the final result, the simplified rational expression. Now, I want to remind you that this particular expression is undefined for certain values of z. And I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can figure out what values of z this guy is undefined for. That's going to come up as we go throughout this chapter. All right. I'm hopeful that you took some time and you figured out that this guy is good for all values of z. The domain is true for all real numbers for z, except for z cannot equal -9, because that would make the denominator 0. All right, so we've simplified an expression by canceling common factors in the numerator and denominator. We figured out that when we have something like 6 minus z and z minus 6, since they have their two terms reversed, if we go to cancel, one of them must end up being a -1. All right, you will use that. We will get some practice in with that.